Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, my lecturers. And this is Jome. Today, I would like to do the presentation about the natures and the scope of the economics. Before I start my presentations, I would like to introduce you about my group members. And there are four members in my groups. They are Nini Hans and Jome, Nur Azwani Azmans, and then Waida Farhana. So for this presentation, I am initiator so that I would like to introduce you what we are talking about in these presentations. Okay, so in this presentation, we will be talking about the definition of economics and how it seek for the group of wealth, and the term of classical economics and what did the earliest economists promote, and also critical evaluation of classical economic view. And then we will be talking about the neoclassical view of economics and critical evaluation of neoclassical economic view and the scope of economic. And then we will be talking about the economics as art and as science, economics as a positive and normative science, basic economic concepts, and then scale of preference and the mean of opportunity cost. After that subtopics, we will also talking about the central economic problem of economy. Moreover, what provisions should be made for the economic growth. And then for the last slides, we will be explaining the world of microeconomy and macroeconomics. So let's get started for my first slide. This is what is economics. As you see, economics is a social science that seeks to analyze and describes the production, the distribution, and the consumption of wealth. It also analyzes how a society seeks to allocate their limited resources to achieve the growth of their wealth. The term economics is derived from Greek words ego, which means homes, and nomos, which means accounts. The word economics is being used as the meaning of keeping the home or the family accounts. In the early times, but it becomes a wider subject and broader field in today's ages. Let's move the next slide. This is the classical view of economics. In this slide, classical economics is a broad term that refers to the dominant school of thought for economics in the 18th and 19th centuries, where the economic is transformed from the monarch rule to capitalist democracy, so which mainly believe of free competitions. Most considers Scottish economist Adam Smith as the pioneer of classical economic theory, with his published article known as the Wealth of Nations. The earliest classical economists promoted the theory of value, price, supplies, and demand and distribution. Spanish scholars and French economists also made their earlier contributions. The main fundamental principle theory of the classical view on the economics is that the belief of economics is a self-regulating mechanisms. They are mainly focused on economic growth, economic freedom, stressing laissez-faire ideas and free competition. And the next slide is I'm going to talk about the critical evaluation of the classical economic view. In this slide, the classical economics narrowed the scope of the economics by defining it as the science that deal with only material wealth. They don't regard the service of those who produce non-material goods because their service do not relate to productions of a tangible goods. Credits point out that economics study not only material goods and wealth, but also includes non-material goods such as service of teachers, doctors, and lawyers, etc. Secondly, the classical economists emphasize the importance of wealth rather than human beings in economic life. The critics observe that what was given a primary role while human life was given the secondary roles, but on the contrary, human life should play a primary role and so cannot be sacrificed for wealth. So according to the classical economists, wage to labor is the only source of wealth of a nation, but the critics are of the view that there are other sources of wealth such as natural resources, human resources, and capital resources. And those are my parts. And thank you for your attention. And for the rest of the slides, and the rest of my group member will continue. And thank you so much.